The coastal road is causing serious gbege. Listen to what the president said, because this is a warning to investors and also to developers. Listening very well.
Let me at this stage warn all developers. The federal government will enforce the setback. If not for anything, it's for the interest of our nation. Development without approval will not be compensated. We have gazetted and published the setback. We are going to enforce it rigidly in every way possible.
The president said that a reasonable setback is needed for a couple of things. He mentioned for development, for infrastructure, and a couple of things. This was on the day that the coastal road was launched, the 30 kilometer, which they make reference to. Then the question is this: what is that reasonable setback that is needed? Listen to what the minister said also.
Mr. President, I'm happy the governors are here, and I want to announce your order that the governors weigh this coastal highway, the Abuja-Kano, the Trans-Hara, the Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe roads, the 4 legacy projects, that they must give us a minimum of 500 meters from the edge of our carriageway, which will be part of the tolling arrangements, so that the return on investment will be fruitful. We have submitted what we mapped out to the governor of Lagos State. We will submit to Ogun State. We will submit to the governor of Ondo State, and of course Sokoto and Kebbi. And I'm happy that they are your children, sir. They have listened to you. They will give us this land.
So from what the minister said, you will hear him make reference to 500 meters. For those of you who don't understand what 500 meter means, an average football pitch is around 100 meter. That is 5 of that are setback. We don't understand whether it is throughout the coastal road, the Lagos-Calabar coastal road, or is just for the toll gate axis. That we don't know yet. So, but things will unfold as things goes on. Then the question is this: does the federal government have the right to take those land? Because at least for most of us, we are aware that lands are being controlled by the state government. How come the federal government is having overriding interests on that land? There's an article that was published on The Guardians. I'll put it on the screen for you to see. And I read the article, and I was able to get out some facts from that article. What the article is trying to say is this: when the land is close to a water shore, when the land is close to a coastal line, for a federal project, the federal government can step in. Even if the land has CFO, it can be revoked as far as a proper process is being taken. That is summary of the article, but you can go and read it to get the full gist about that article. The article screenshot is on the screen, so you can actually go and read more. So the fact is this is a federal project, and this is a legacy project for the president, and the president will do everything possible to see how you can make this project come to pass. At least, if not on this first term, but at least on the second term, at least you can use that to also go for the second term. Then the question is this: can the federal government revoke a land or take over your land if you have land that is? According to what we've heard so far, the president said that a setback is needed, which is a normal thing. The minister said about 500 meter. Some other articles online said 100 meter, 200, 250 meter. So that we don't know. So those are some things which we've seen so far. And what does this tell you? It tells us that if you're looking at buying property in the coastal road, we need to make sure that we give a space of at least 500 meters. So we don't know whether the 500 meter is 250, or whether it's 500 in both sides, which is 1,000. We are still waiting to get the full gist. But another thing we can consider also is to see how we can avoid it. We can avoid it because this is a federal case. It's not a state case anymore. So you can actually avoid it so that you don't have any challenge when it comes to federal challenge. But if you have the muscle, you can actually go ahead and buy property along the coastal road. But if you must buy property in the coastal road, you try not to look for the one that is directly facing the express. At least, let's give at least 500 meter away. At least that will help. Because from what the president also said, that it's an investment. They will, even the minister will also make reference to it too, that they will sell some of this land to, because it's a prime location. They will sell some of this land to people or to developers or to investors who will really develop that as is. So these are some things you have to consider also. From what the president also make reference to, he make reference to illegal highland. The reality is this: there are a couple of highland which are legal and there are some that are not legal. So, like for instance, the Eco Atlantic is legal. There's another legal island around Chevron, Ekate, I think Jakonde, I think so, Jakonde, and Chevron as is in Lekki. So there's some islands that are legal, but there's some islands that are not legal. People are just going ahead to just and feel. And what I would recommend is this: for now, I recommend is try to avoid property that is close to the shoreline. If you read the article on The Guardian, you'll see where they make reference to that property that is at least 100 meters from the shoreline is federal government property. So you need to avoid it. You need to avoid it. And also another thing I read, which allegedly, let me use that word, that the coastal road, it was actually diverted to a new alignment, but toward the Dangote refinery. If they follow that alignment, that it will enter the refinery. So I think from what I heard or what I read, there's tendency that it might be redirected back to the former alignment, but that we don't know yet. I don't know yet. So we're waiting until where they get to that point. But for now, I would recommend that if you are looking at getting property in the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road as is, I would recommend that let's try to avoid property facing the express. We should get the one. We should try to see how we can have at least 500 meters away from the coastal road to avoid trouble. That's what I would recommend. So, but the 500 meter, just like I said, we don't know whether it's just in the toll gate as is or throughout. But if it's throughout, that will be massive. So whatever we can avoid, let's avoid it. The real estate business in Lagos is risky. So, and if you see any property, try to involve a lawyer, involve a surveyor, so that they can do a proper due diligence on those property. I have a course on due diligence, which I would recommend that you check it. It is on landproperty.ng/free. Go and check it out. It will help you to avoid any challenge. My name is Dennis Song from landproperty.ng. What we do, we help Nigerians in diaspora, we help Nigerians in Nigeria to invest properly in Lagos real estate. I just say, let me make reference to this Lagos-Calabar coastal saga for you to be aware of. Thank you so much. Follow and share this video to your friends, because it will be useful to them. And also, don't just share bad news. Share this. This is very useful, because this will make them not to spend money wrongly and not to fight unnecessary battle that can be avoided. Thank you. Bye for now.